Hi everyone! For today's lesson, we're gonna talk about nouns. The simplest definition of a noun is a thing, and nouns are the basic building blocks of sentences. These things can represent a person, animal, place, idea, and emotion. Almost anything that you can think of, like dog, sound, love, phone, courage, Chicago, and spaceship are all nouns. The more nouns you know in a language, the better you will be able to communicate your ideas. The problem with a simple definition above is that it does not explain why love, for example, is a noun, but also can be a verb. And so, another way of recognizing a noun is by looking at its ending, position, and function. Let's first talk about the noun ending. There are certain word endings that show that a word is a noun. For example, the ET in nationality, meant in appointment, ness in happiness, Asian in relation, hood in childhood. But this is not true for the word endings of all nouns. For example, the noun spoonful ends in full, but the adjective careful also ends in full. Next is its position in the sentence. We can often recognize a noun by its position in the sentence. Nouns often come after a determiner. A determiner is a word like a, an, the, this, my, and such. Let's take a look at these examples. For example, a relief. So the noun here comes after the determiner a, which is relief. Another example, an afternoon. So the noun here is the afternoon because it comes after the determiner an. Another example, the doctor. What do you think is the noun here? That's correct. It's doctor because it comes after the determiner the. Okay, next. Nouns often come after one or more adjectives. For example, a great relief. So we're still using the same noun, which is relief. And it comes after our adjectives great and our determiner a great relief. Another example, a peaceful afternoon. We use the same example. We use the noun afternoon, which comes after the adjective, which is peaceful. Next is its function in the sentence. Nouns have certain functions or sort of like a jobs in a sentence. Okay, there are several, but some are: first, can be used as a subject of the verb. It can be an object of a verb, and it can also be a subject and object of a verb. Okay, let's take a look at this example, okay, wherein the noun is used as a subject of the verb. Okay, doctors work hard. Can you identify the noun here? Okay, that's correct. It's the doctor. And what is its function? It's used as a, that's correct. It's a subject of our verb. Okay, how about the other function, which is used as the object of verb? Okay, let's take a look at this sentence. He likes coffee. Can you identify the noun in this sentence? He likes coffee. Okay, that's correct. That's the coffee. Okay, and again, its function is an object in our verb. Okay, and the last function is that it can be a subject and object of a verb. For example, teachers teach students. We have two nouns here. We have teachers and students. So teacher is used as a Okay, that's correct. It's used as a subject, and students is used as our object. Okay, but the subject or object of a sentence is not always a noun. It could be a pronoun or a phrase. In the sentence, my doctor works hard. The noun is doctor, but the subject is my doctor. Now, let's talk about the categories of nouns. There are several categories of nouns, and there can be an overlap across the categories. For example, there are common and proper nouns and concrete and abstract nouns. Yet some nouns are both concrete and common, or concrete and proper. It will become clear as you read on. Now let's first talk about common nouns. What are common nouns? So these are nouns or words that refer to most general things. Let's take a look at this example sentence. Kathy loves the weekends in the country. Can you identify the common nouns? There are two. Okay, that is right. We have weekends and country. So these are the common nouns in this sentence. Let's take a look at another example. We enjoy swimming after breakfast. Can you identify the common nouns? That is right. We have swimming and breakfast. The next category is the proper noun. Proper nouns are the name that identifies someone or something, a person or a place. Proper nouns are usually capitalized. Don't forget that. John, for example, is a proper noun, since the word John represents a particular single example of a thing. What are other examples of proper noun? We have Mary, Jimmy, Aunt Audrey, Honda, Philadelphia. Let's take a look at this example sentence and let's identify the proper nouns. Okay, Emily loved spending time with her Aunt Nancy in Paris. There are how many? There are three. Can you identify what are those nouns and the proper nouns? Okay, that is right. So we have Emily, Aunt Nancy, and Paris. So those are specific names of person and place. The next category of noun is the concrete noun. So the concrete nouns represent a thing that is real and tangible. For example, pig, person, rock, smell, air, soap, Larry. So these are all examples of concrete nouns. Okay, now let's take a look at this sentence and let's try to identify the concrete noun or the concrete nouns. Okay, here's the sentence. The person threw the rock across the yard. Can you identify the concrete nouns in this sentence? Okay, that is right. So we have how many? There are three concrete nouns in this sentence. We have person, rock, and yard. Okay, now let's move on to the next category of noun, which is an abstract noun. An abstract noun represents a thing that is more like a concept or idea. For example, we have love, integrity, democracy, friendship, beauty, knowledge. So these are all examples of abstract nouns. Now, I'm going to give you another sentence and try to identify the abstract noun. Here's a sentence. Love and friendship are equally important. Can you identify the abstract noun? or nouns? There are two. What are those? That is right. We have love and friendship. Nouns can also be categorized as either countable or uncountable. A countable noun is a thing that can be numbered or counted. For example, we have airplane, sock, bowl, noodle, teacher, as in 2 airplanes, 3 socks, 1,000 noodles. Okay, what are other examples? We have peach, horse, shirt, telescope. Okay, now I'm going to give you another sentence and I want you to identify the countable noun here. There are 5 dogs in the street. Can you identify the countable noun? Okay, that is right. We have dogs because again, it can be counted. Next is the uncountable nouns. Uncountable nouns can have a quantity or amount, but cannot be actually counted. For example, we have water, music, clothes, understanding. So these things cannot be individually counted. It's not possible at all. Okay, what are other examples of uncountable nouns? We have hate, confidence, attractiveness, wisdom. Now, let's talk about collective nouns. When we say collective nouns, it refers to a group of people or things. For example, audience, team, bunch, family, class. So when speaking of collective nouns, Americans consider them as singular, using singular verbs with them, such as, for example, the group dances happily. So they consider them as singular. Okay, but when we talk about British English, both singular verbs and plural verbs might be used, as in the group danced crazily before the Queen. What are other examples of collective nouns? We have government, jury, team, bunch, school, class, and group. Now, I'm going to give you another sentence and identify the collective nouns. Okay, here's the sentence. The team threw confetti when it was over. What are our collective nouns here? That is right. We have team and confetti. Very good. You did well. Now let's talk about the 4 genders of nouns. In English, the 4 genders of nouns are masculine, feminine, common, and neuter. When we say masculine, so these are nouns that refers to words for a male figure or male member of a species. For example, man, boy, actor, horse. Second gender is the feminine. So these nouns refer to female figures or female members of a species. For example, we have woman, girl, actress, and mare. The third gender is the common noun. So these nouns refer to members of a species and don't specify the gender, such as parent, friend, client, and student. And the fourth genders or gender of a noun is the neuter nouns. So they refer to things that have no gender, such as rock, table, and pencil. And that ends our lesson for today. we have discussed again the definition of nouns and how do we recognize them in a sentence by looking at its ending, position, and function. We also talk about the categories of nouns, such as the common, proper, concrete, and abstract. We also try to differentiate the countable and uncountable nouns. And lastly, we talk about the 4 genders of nouns, such as the masculine, the feminine, common, and neuter, and its significance in English language. In our next topic, we're going to talk about the singular and plural nouns. So see you on my next video.